A very good morning to all of you. In yesterday's lecture, we saw how several areas within the so-called spiritual domain, came to transform a journey of nationalism. And Partha Chatterjee refers to the first area, that of language, with reference to Bengal and Bengali, or Bengali language. How the Bengali bilinguals started using Bengali and they kept it away from the colonial introduced we understood yesterday. So this process can be understood with reference to the influence of modern European languages and literature. So he says that the modular influences of modern European languages and literatures did not necessarily produce similar consequences. Okay, means as it had happened in Europe, the same kind of consequences could not be seen. For example, in the case of new literary genres, you are familiar with the term genres by now. It's a French word to refer to types, literary types, and aesthetic conventions. For example, he says, whereas European influences undoubtedly shaped explicit critical discourse. So we could see the influence of European literary forms and aesthetic conventions on literature, Indian literature, especially Bengali literature. It was also widely believed that European conventions were inappropriate and misleading in judging literary productions in modern Bengali. It was the mixed kind of influence. On the one hand, one could see the influence of European literature on new literary genres and aesthetic conventions. But at the same time, there was an opinion that these conventions were not suitable. They were not, what we call, appropriate for local conventions, literary productions in modern Bengali. So what we see that there is a kind of debate. There is a kind of disagreement between the terms of academic criticism and those of literary practice. There is a gap we can see. Now, he gives an example of Bengali drama to explain his point. Look, we are talking about the cultural forms. First of all, we talked about language. He's still talking about the print capitalism, under which we talked about the printing of books in Bengali language. Now he's talking about the influence of European um, literature on different forms, but still there is a gap between academic criticism and actual literary practice. And he explains it with the help of the example of Bengali drama. So, what he says, drama is the modern literary genre that is the least commended on aesthetic grounds by critics of Bengali literature. In Bengali language, drama is the modern literary genre and it is least appreciated in terms of its aesthetic beauty by critics of Bengali literature. Okay, means it does not have much respectful position in Bengali literature. Okay, it is the form in which the bilingual elite has found its largest audience. If you go back to British literature, you must be knowing something about the miracle and morality plays before the actual drama form came into being. So during the 15th century and early 16th century, you must be knowing that. Means during the age of Chaucer, there was drama form was not that popular, but because of the religious influence in Britain, they started using miracle and plays and morality plays. And initially, William Shakespeare too was under the influence of these plays. The influence of miracle and morality plays could be seen on the writing of Elizabethan dramatists as well. So there were different cycles. You might be knowing. I hope you have studied all these things. This is not the class to discuss all those things, but when you bring back that knowledge to this class, you will realize that during this period, the elite class, bilingual means the people who are able to talk in two languages, who are able to understand two languages. Again, this is the social linguistic term, bilingualism. For example, most of the Indians are multilinguals. I am a multilingual. You are multilinguals or bilinguals. You know more than two languages. So this bilingual elite means in Bengal, knew Bengali and English. They tried to use drama form to appeal the audience, and they found that people responded. But when it appeared in its modern form in the middle of the 19th century, the new Bengali drama had two models available to it. Okay? Means when it appeared in Bengal, in the land of Bengal, in the middle of the 19th century, means around 1850, the new Bengali drama had two models. He refers to these two models. They followed two models. One, the modern European drama, as it had developed since Shakespeare and Molière. William Shakespeare, you are familiar with, and Molière was um, the French dramatist. Just like William Shakespeare, he was also very famous, and he was in France around 16th century, in the early 16th century. Sorry, 17th century, 1622 or so. So these were William Shakespeare, the English dramatist, British dramatist. Molière was the French dramatist. So drama developed from that period, as I mentioned earlier. Before that, there were miracle plays, morality plays, mystery plays, etc. And during the Elizabethan period in Britain, it is called the golden period of British drama or English drama. The great writers like William Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe lived. So drama developed from that time. So that was the model for the Bengali writers, firstly. The second model available to them was the virtually forgotten corpus of Sanskrit drama. Actually, it was almost forgotten. For example, Kalidasa's Meghdut, Shakuntalam, etc. So these were forgotten, and these Sanskrit dramas were restored to a reputation of classical excellence. Means the Bengali dramatists, writers started following Sanskrit drama. Now, what was the reason? Why did they suddenly fell in love of the forgotten Sanskrit drama? You must be knowing that the European scholars, who were called Orientalist scholars from Europe, such as William Jones had fallen, was a Sanskrit scholar, and it was he who talked about the similarity between Sanskrit and German language for the first time. He found interesting similarities between both the languages. Therefore, it was he who suggested the Indo-European family of language. You must be knowing that. William Jones was the judge, actually, British judge in India, in Bengal presidency, and he was the great Sanskrit scholar. And he found these similarities, and they started praising Sanskrit literature because of this influence of the Orientalists. Indians realized the greatness of Sanskrit literature. Okay, almost it was forgotten. So you can see that whatever we talk today has its roots in the colonial period. So they had two models. One is the model of Shakespeare or Molière, and the second one is the Sanskrit, classical Sanskrit drama, because of the praises by the Orientalist scholars from Europe. And then the literary criteria that would presumably direct the new drama. You know, drama is written in certain literary convention. Now, what were the criteria for it? The new drama into the privileged domain of the modern national culture were therefore clearly said by modular forms provided by Europe. You see that, Miss. The model was provided by Europe, especially for literary conventions. It can clearly be seen. So when we talk about the academic criticism, it is highly influenced by the European model. Today as well, we talk about literary criticism. We refer to Aristotle, we refer to Plato, then S.T. Coleridge, then we talked about William Wordsworth, we talked about Dryden, Samuel Johnson, T.S. Eliot, Matthew Arnold. When you take all these names, you realize that our literary criticism is under the influence of the European model. But there is a gap, as we understood previously. The performative practices of the new institution, of the public theatre, let's say Bengali theatre, Marathi theatre, made it impossible for those criteria to be applied to plays written for the theatre. So those literary conventions, literary criteria, could not be applied to Indian performative practices, actual performance of these plays on the stage. So that was the problem. So the convention that would enable a play to succeed on the Calcutta stage were very different, he says, from the conventions approved by critics schooled in the tradition of European drama. So as I mentioned earlier, academic critics, as soon as we talk about criticism, we talk about the popular definition given by William Wordsworth, or the popular definition of Aristotle's tragedy. Okay, so all these things come into your mind. So there was a kind of mismatch, and this mismatch is exists till today. The tension has not been resolved even today. So, mainstream public theatre in West Bengal or even Bangladesh. Now, Bangladesh got divided. Earlier, it was Bengal. Then, after the Battle of, I think, Plassey, am I right? Earlier Bengal got divided into West Bengal and East Bengal, not Bangladesh. Bangladesh is the new name now. Purva Bengal, we say. So later it became the part of Pakistan, and then again it got divided from Pakistan, and today we know it as Bangladesh. So this theatre, mainstream theatre in both the lands, both the states today, is modern urban theatre, national and clearly distinguishable from folk theatre. It is called modern urban theatre. It is city-centric theatre. Okay. It is national and it is different from the folk theater. Folk theater means the theater of the what called popular culture. We can say common people, lok natya. That's what we understand in Marathi. So it is produced and largely patronized by the literate urban middle classes. Same in the case of Marathi. If you study Marathi theater, you will have a similar opinion. So, eight, their aesthetic conventions fail to meet the standards set by the modular literary forms adopted from Europe. So, that's what we understand. Although they follow the European model, the aesthetic conventions fail to follow the standards set by the European theatre. So, this is what we understand about drama as a form, cultural form of literature, we can say.